carnage equals good viewing, surely.
Welcome to the show. I'm Dan Watson.
I'm Paul Sloggett. Welcome to the Dirt. Do you want to introduce us?
No, crack on. You keep going, bud.
So, this is everyone in the UK's local centre we're introducing now. So it's your local centre. If you live in the UK, use it.
Ain't that the truth?
Bugsboarding, we've got Bugs and Nina on, and we're delighted with it.
That's it. Let's get them in here. Bugs and Nina from Bugsboarding in Maysmore, Gloucestershire. As Sloggett said, if you're in the UK and you're a mountain boarder, they are your local centre. I don't know where they've gone. They should have been in here by now. I've pressed. Where are we? Let me go in here. Where are they? There we are.
Good evening.
Hello. How are you?
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining and coming on the Dirt there.
It's our pleasure. We feel very honoured to be invited on the podcast.
Oh.
I feel like a TV superstar this evening.
That's
Oh,
it.
Ask you for your autograph next time I see you.
Isn't there? I'm going to have a big queue coming to Bugsboarding hopefully next week.
Well, next week we're open.
Oh yeah, we're not open next week. First of April, we're open.
First of
Yeah,
April.
don't turn up next week. Don't turn up next week. In fact, no, do turn up next week because by the time this goes out, it will be ready for next week.
Oh, that's a good
First of
point.
April. Yeah, and if it's before then and they've got a spade or a rake, then crack on over.
Exactly. So
Eamon's been making lots of big ruts in the bottom of the course, so we need some flattener outers, really.
Oh, he does love rutting, does Eamon?
Oh yeah, well that's rutting.
So you're open.
That might be his new nickname, Eamon the Rutter.
We'll have to ask Ayla about that. So you're open April the 1st, first weekend of the season. Now,
Yeah,
it's a very special season, really, isn't it? There's a big number.
it's a 20th anniversary of Bugsboarding this year. Yeah, we're very excited.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is.
massive achievement, a huge achievement for a Mountainboard centre to be going that long. And there's been a lot of lean years. There's been a lot of problem years with COVID, foot and mouth, etc. And you've come through it all.
Yeah,
we've had a couple of dodgy years, but this year everybody's come to support us and it's been amazing. It's really reinstalled our faith in the boarding community. Everyone's been fabulous this year. So we're trying to forget COVID and all that nonsense now. We're ready for our 20th year and lots of fun this year.
I'm willing to be corrected in the comments below, but surely you've got to be now the longest open centre in the world.
Yes, I think we probably are, aren't we?
Well, I think
Could be.
yeah, it could be. I don't know about 1 year or how long when that first started, but I've got a feeling it was after you guys. I've got a feeling, but we'll have to ask Matt. Matt Brind in the comments below.
Yeah, Matt knows everything, doesn't he? Old man.
Old Stato.
Yeah, factoid.
Mr. Fact.
Yeah. So 20 years, I'd bring it back to 2003. That's a year we can definitely get right, Dan.
Yeah.
Not very often we get a year right, but we know that for a fact. So 2003 was the first year of Bugs.
I think it was too, wasn't it?
We started doing all the clearing up and that in 2002. Then open 2003, yeah.
So what was, but I mean, we all know Bugs, it's in a farm, essentially, isn't it? Farmland all around. Was it just a cattle field or what was the ground before Bugs then? As we
motocross track.
Right.
So we used to do Seven Valley schoolboys there. So we used to have over 1,000 riders. on the weekend, scrambling around the fields.
Yeah.
And it went from doing 18 meets a year, and then people started complaining about the noise. Went down to six meets, 8 meets. And in the end, they said you can only have 2 meets a year. So it wasn't feasible.
Yeah.
And then it went to cattle grazing.
Yeah. I think there's still some remnants of old features in the next field along. Is that,
there are a few left.
Like the land don't seem to be quite natural in that area.
No, it's a lot of undulations and dugouts around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 acre track. So.
Oh, Christ.
Bloody hell.
It was one of the favourites for the schoolboys. And years ago, I used to run a motocross department in Gloucester, and it was very famous with all our riders as being one of the best tracks in Britain, really. So it was quite heartbreaking for the local motocross community when it closed down.
Yeah, I bet. And it's something that seems to be scourging all motorsport at the moment, this noise complaint business. It don't matter whether you're one of the main player tracks, even like Donington has its grief. There are noise limitations on it, limitations to how often they can run and stuff. You got to wonder, like you say, how it's even feasible to be a business under that constraint.
Well, it's quite heartbreaking, really, because the young kids just on the schoolboy racing that used to come, there was over 400 families there racing every weekend. So really, it's pretty awful of the local people to complain when there are only a few weekends a year. It's just, when there's over 400 families having a fantastic time, then where's the bit of noise, isn't it? And the same for the motor racing and everything. There's a lot of people that enjoy it, and it's really good for the local areas. I really don't know why people complain. It's quite sad, really.
If they hadn't complained, though, we'd have never met you guys, would we?
Well, no,
This is true. And yeah, if they hadn't complained, the UK wouldn't even have a single local centre right now. So
it's quite sad that we're the last ones, isn't it, really, at the moment?
Yeah, at the moment. That's the key word to that, though, isn't it? The key words at the moment, because hopefully, people are trying, aren't they? There are people up and down that are, little meets here, little sanctioned areas as opposed to centres, little permission areas where they've been allowed to build a few bits, but taking it to the next stage of actually being a business of some description is a whole different kettle of fish. So how did you, like I'd normally ask the riders, how did you find mountain boarding, or how did mountain boarding find you? So when the motocross, you obviously foresaw that coming at some point. How did you figure to go to boards?
My mate Dan Bennett turned up and stayed at my place for a bit, and he had one of the old frame boards.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Carl, we'll go over the mountainboard centre and have a go on that." Well, not a mountainboard centre, it's scramble track at the time. And come and have a go on this. So I stepped on that and I thought, Christ, man, it's a death trap, isn't it?
You're not wrong.
What the fuck's this about, like? You know what I mean? And he said this would be a cracking place for a mountainboard centre. So he said, "Come on, we'll go over and see AJ." Went over and saw Age. Obviously, I used to go to school with AJ as well. And he turned up at the farm. He came up the farm with Rennie Miles.
Yeah.
Little Joe Dixon.
Nice.
Had a wander around and had a look at the place.
So was AJ already involved with MBS then at that point?
He was, yeah. He was going around making centres, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was going around building and that.
So in one way fortuitous that the scrambling stopped and he happened to be your schoolmate as such.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Helped out on that front. Because I mean the Michelinuses weren't too far away from you either with the whole MBS.
No, he was just over the road, only in Dimmock. 20 minutes away.
So kind of in the epicenter really there back in the day. And well still is. Let's be honest.
It's a hot spot, that area.
Yeah. So
You got
they must have.
there as well.
So what did AJ say? AJ's come along with Joe and Rennie and that, and they've obviously looked at the place and gone, "Oh yeah, we could put something in there and build a centre." But how do you go from going, "Okay, let's do that," to knowing that you've got a customer base? Like,
well, AJ reckoned it was a good sport to get into, good diversification.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hunters starting up at the time.
Yeah. I mean, did you have any problems with foot and mouth and stuff like that? Because that was around that sort of time, wasn't it? 2001, 2000, something like that?
Previous to that, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have been after foot and mouth.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So, and they put it. AJ came in with yours, and put a track there. I mean, it's obviously changed massively to what it is current day to what it would have been back then.
Yeah, it's changed quite a lot. We had to go and see my old man, try and chat to him, see if he'd give us permission. And he said, "Well, I make $3,000 off that field every year. So if you come up with $3,000, you can have the field."
Fair enough.
Yeah, come up with some money first, like give the old man some money.
Yeah.
I nicked his big digger one day and we ripped some tracks in. He came out there the next day, saw what we had done, and went absolutely berserk.
Did he?
Went absolutely mad. Well, it was already done then. He couldn't say a lot after that. Like, start to take the bollock in and crack on, wasn't it?
You at least took the topsoil off first, though, didn't you? You didn't just mix straight through the subsoil and everything. Just all in big holes.
We've done quite a lot of digging that day.
The border cross went in.
Yeah, we dug the border cross in and that one line.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say that from my perspective, and surely from you guys now, that take the tracks aside, your biggest client base usage of the park has got to be that wonderful learner area, the piste, if you like, that is our main earner for the centre. Yeah,
everything else, that's what keeps us afloat.
Yeah,
and it is phenomenal. It really is. I mean, it is so nice to have, like, essentially turf. It's like a bloody bowling green when it's been freshly cut, and that is fantastic. Or obviously a bowling green on an angle that wouldn't really work, but it's not. You know, it's one of those places. It's got that, as AJ spotted back in the day. It's got that perfect gradient for mountain boarding there. You know, you can build up a bit of pace, and at the moment you start across the hill, you can control your descent. And as a beginner coming through a centre, what more can you want?
Yeah, apparently we're known in Europe as the safest centre to learn at in Europe because of our. So that's quite nice to know.
Yeah, there's certainly less obstacles in that area than there is at, say, somewhere like LA.
Yeah. But I think it took you a lot of years to get it smooth like that, didn't it?
It was. It never used to look like that. AJ's got smoked grass, and you can see the cattle out there grazing, and grass up here, tyres everywhere from the motocross tracks. It was a right mess out there. It took us about a good 5 months just to tidy it up.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I bet. I mean, I remember the maintenance that used to go into what became Hart Hill and Priory when me and Slogs were back in the day. I mean, don't get him started on strimming. I still have an affinity for strimming. There was nothing better back in the day than getting absolutely blazed, chucking the earphones on and just buggering off with a strimmer for an hour. It makes a change from dealing with all the punters and this nugget.
Yeah, definitely know that feeling. Strimmer becomes part of your life up there.
And stinking pads.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, how did those first sort of formative years go for Bugs boarding as a centre? Did it immediately pick up, or what was the buzz behind it? I remember competing there. Would have been later, right? Maybe 2005 or something like that. I don't remember competing there like 03 necessarily. But I'm sure that there was.
I don't know. We had Night F.
We had the Match Tracks Classics there. That was the first.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Christ, I can't remember, can I? I got a job to remember last week.
We were supposed to have a nice list of everything ready to tell you, but we've not been very efficient with it. We know that Fact-Based Night Air was 2008.
That's correct. But yeah, did it?
We started off, when we started off, we had 10 boards on the fleet.
Right.
That was our complete fleet.
How big's your fleet now?
Christ, got to be over 60 boards in there.
Nice. That's some hell of a birthday party. 60 boards all out.
Plus your scooters, plus your sledges.
Yeah, there's about 14 sledges. There's 35 scooters. There's quite a lot in there now.
And if you looked at popularity, I'm tempting fate here. Please, please say the right answer. Which would you say out of the three there is the most popular? I know what's coming here. But
you should have asked, should you? I shouldn't have asked.
Actually, last year it evened out.
It did even out last year, but before last year it was always grass sledging.
Grass sledging. I got to say, in terms of interest, I'm hoping to get my family up there this summer at some point. We're going to come on an off weekend and come on a Friday night and stop over in the motorhome and spend the day with you. But to selling it to my 6-year-old, it's the grass sledging that she wants to do. She's got access to mountain boards, so I suppose they've not got as much shine.
There's not as much novelty.
Yeah.
But the thing with the grass sledges is, if that's what brings them in the door, hopefully you can keep them in the door.
Well, that's it. And hopefully slowly progress them onto the mountain boarding. It does work. A lot of people come, the younger kids go grass sledging, the older kids are stood there, I don't really want to do that. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So you talk them together on a mountain board. So it does work. It brings it's something there then for the whole family, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah. There's no one sat on the sideline bored.
That's it, isn't it? Even Granny can jump on a sledge and go down an hill.
I bet they're fun times when you get to see those. Nina, watch this one.
We have a granddad, a 77-year-old granddad that comes with his grandkids every year, 2 or 3 times.
Oh,
what a legend.
And he gets on the old sledges and flies down. He kits himself out with the right boots and everything. Now he knows what he's up to.
Well,
goes really quick, really quick.
Oh, I bet. Talking of diversification and other things on the site, we're coming off the chronological order here a bit, but it don't matter. You have diversified a little bit over the last year or so, haven't you? Again, I don't think bikes have ever not been they've always been allowed from memory. I've seen bikes knocking around there and bits and pieces, but you've taken on or been taken on, depending on where your viewpoint is, as a bit of a hub for mountain biking now as well, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it. We've got a bunch of lads, a couple of top riders, Billy and Oscar. I'm just trying to think of their surnames because I'm so rubbish at everyone's names. That's it, Oscar Powell and Billy Spurway.
That's it.
Which are two. Billy's sponsored, I think. He's quite a well-known name, and
he actually used to come to the centre when he was a little kid riding. So
he did, yeah.
Mountainboard.
He was a little tot when he first started mountainboarding at Bugsboarding.
Nice.
A return boarder who's come back on his bike.
Yeah.
And they've been building some really good tracks. But they've been a bit absent this year, actually. It was last year they did most of their work. They've been traveling all around the world doing other things this bit. So they didn't actually get round to finishing some of the tracks that we wanted them to. But we're getting there. And really, at Bugsboarding now, we just want to encourage everybody, scooterers, mountain boarders, grass sledging is to encourage the younger ones to come and start doing things, and biking as well. Obviously, we had the legend
Sam Pilgrim.
Thank you.
All right, I saw the glance off to the side there.
Sam last year made a fantastic video as well, and
did that
really
help bring a bit of publicity to the centre, do you think? Bring a few faces
definitely.
to the door.
A lot of people mentioned his video, and now I've got to know who Sam is and what sort of guy he is also. We're very grateful to his bit of support, but I think he enjoyed himself too. It was nice to meet his brother as well. He was lovely lad.
It's always good at Bugsboarding. You can't leave the place without a smile on your face. I mean, and Eamon done all right as well, didn't he? To be fair, he seemed
in the vid.
Yeah, he come across all right, I suppose.
Yeah.
He's amazing, Eamon. He's awesome, Eamon. He's our lad, our home lad, really. We've had a few over the years who we will try and talk a little bit about. He came along at the same time as Emlyn and Ben and Connor and Will and them. So they all came along. They were one of the later ones. Joe Dixon and Tom Kirkman and Renee were the first lot, and Leon. And then we had
you're reeling through your list.
Mick Kirkman, and then Emlyn and Ben. I'm repeating myself over and over again, but
that's all right. No, I didn't want to stop you.
They come along in gangs over the years.
and you've just reeled off like a couple generations of big, heavy hitters as far as riding performance is concerned.
Yeah.
They're all big riders in their own right.
That's it.
You don't want the rubbish.
You got to lay claim to it. The best in the world in their respective generations have all come through. As Bugs riders.
Must be something.
That's the bottom line.
All we need now is a bit more competition.
I gotta say, I mean, shout out to Mark and the Hart Hill crew. It was sad days.
Heartbreaking. And thanks to Mark, he sent us that lovely, bless his heart, when they did close down. He let us have that massive quarter pipe for hardly anything, really. Bless him.
It's nice to see that getting used still.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've put it in and we've left it as authentic as we can. They started painting it and repairing it a bit and tidying it up, but I think there's still a few bits of Hart Hill left on it. Everyone was getting a little bit, heart touchy.
I remember when it went out, I didn't realise is it fiberglass or metal or?
Yeah.
I didn't realise at the time when they said about clearing the place. I was like, oh please, if it's made out of ply, cut it up and sell me a section for like keepsakes, like they do with bits of the Isle of Man when they rip up bits of that, or you can take bits of the China Wall, can't you, and stuff like that, or what was it, the Berlin Wall when they tore that down. Just give us a bit of the quarter pipe. But yeah, you touched on some of the riders there. I am going to go with a couple of quick fire questions as such on those particular periods. Because without, we could sit here for hours banging on and do a massive saga. But in the interest of mountain boarders' attention spans, I think we could do a couple of little quick fires there. So let's go to the AJ Leon, Rennie, and Joe period of time. They were the first on the hill. We have mentioned that a little bit. Leon, the Leon that we're talking about is Leon Robbins. Came over from States. Did he come over with his brother Austin at the start?
Yeah, he came over as well for a bit.
And how long did they stay, or Leon stay with you in the end?
Leon was over for a good couple of years, helping out and helping build the centre. The big jumps were basically built for Leon, really. Exactly how he wanted them.
Yeah.
They used to be a lot bigger than what they are now.
Really?
Over the years, they got smaller and smaller. But back then, they were absolutely massive, and they were perfectly built for Leon, really.
Yeah. I mean, there's some iconic images come out over the years. Maybe I'll flash up a couple about now of him riding the centre. I mean, that bloody Astra. I wish the Astra was still there.
My old Astra. That was a banging car. That was.
But yeah, I mean that it was a great. It was a fantastic centre for it, even for the time. You know, like even back then, and the pond. The pond rail. I mean, that rail's still in use today. Thankfully, not over the pond. You've got the pond set up now, which is.
I remember when we put it in, Leon went over it the one day, and he misjudged it going onto the second rail because there's a 48-foot rail going over the pond. And mate, he went straight in the pond, and he came out looking like a swamp monster, man. He absolutely stank.
Oh, I bet he'd have been stinking for days as well.
It was rank. Absolutely.
Yeah. Moral of the story is there is still a gap that you could still potentially get. You'd have to roll down into it a bit, but there's still potential to get wet there. But yeah, if you could, I mean, there must have been so much Stella consumed back in them days.
I think every single jump's got probably about 24 cans of Stella under it. Like, there was no building done out there without drinking Stella.
Yeah. But if you had to pick one sort of or any particular memory or any couple of memories from that particular one that just stood out as this is what it's all about. This is Bugs.
Probably a bit of Backtracks Classics, the first event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked on nuts off getting the place ready. And it absolutely hooned it down with rain the day before. Everybody's there, they're all, it's going to be a washout. We all got out on the quad bikes, everything like that, got everything packed in the next day. And it ran lightning fast.
Yeah,
absolutely lightning fast. And that was one memorable day with me, AJ, and Leon at the end of the day. Sat in AJ's camper van drinking Stella. That's very memorable for me.
That's it. Sometimes, like when you put the hard graft in and you get a recompense and recognition for the hard work, or people enjoy what you've created, there ain't too many better feelings as a human.
You're right, Buzz. Makes you feel well good, like.
Yeah.
Plus, that event was the first time the old man actually came down the centre and told me he was proud of me. He never told me afterwards, but yeah, that was quite a nice memory. Though.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that.
I assume that given 20 years in the game now, how many times have you managed to get your old man on a board?
Never. Came down that once, told me he was proud, that was it. He never came out again.
Never come out again. You not managed to get him back on a sledge then?
No, basically.
So that's that one. Now, next period would have been sort of the Kirkman years, sort of late 2000s, their early teens, isn't it? I should imagine. That would have been, I suppose, Eamon and the crew would have been the Groms around that time.
Yeah, Emlyn and Ben and Connor, they would have, and Eamon would have been proper youngsters. Mind you, Joe Dixon wasn't much Much older.
That's
He was
with
just
his little
riding
furry ears.
Yeah.
But-
He was doing his back flips and his front flips and flying about at the same sort of time as Tom and them, really. So
yeah, definitely. Well, it's all you've managed to have quite a good relationship with the MBS UK team throughout the whole time. I should imagine, like we mentioned,
They used to run them all, didn't he? So
that's it.
yeah.
But yeah.
Centre in those days was down to AJ, really. He was doing his ramp, going around with his MBS ramp, wasn't he, to different places for the max track. And really, I think the sport owes AJ a lot, really.
Oh, massive. There are so, I mean, not wanting to take away from AJ, but there are so many unthanked people. They're not unthanked, but not necessarily given the recognition for the behind the scenes work that they do. People like yourselves, it's very easy for us as riders to take places like Bugs for granted. And I think that has been the downfall of mountain boarding in recent years a little bit, that, took it for granted that it'll always be there. Well, these things aren't always going to be there unless the community gets behind them, unless the community supports them, and they have, a good local community. I mean, thankfully, you guys smashed that local bit out the park. I mean, you've always had a good set of groms coming through there, even current day with the likes of Lewis and Noah and all your other little pad monkeys there.
Yeah, that's it. Toby and Felix and Lucas, and we've got a long list this last year. We're quite excited. We're hoping that they'll all come back riding again this year, and we're going to try and perhaps put a little group together, see if we can't get over for the World Championship in France this year. Try and take them over to watch. Yeah. Maybe a couple of them might even enter. You never know. But
that would be good
at the moment. So watch this space.
Oh, nice! That would be awesome. Bugs on tour.
I don't know whether he will come, but we'll try. It might be me and all the groms. Yeah, I don't know.
So we never actually got to the end of those little memories of those eras as such. If same sort of question, if you gave Adam memory of the Dixon Kirkman brothers, I suppose Twy was probably knocking around quite a bit around the time as well. Was there any one particular moment around then that sticks out or anything?
I wish there's that many. No, I don't.
So many, wasn't it?
They weren't quite on as much Stella, were they, as the Bomb Squad? They didn't drink as much Stella as the Bomb Squad crew, though, did they?
Drank a fair bit.
They held their own.
A little later on, they started a group up called Stella Sessions.
Oh, is this like
right? Perfect.
That was a Thursday evening party.
Nina, stop.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, I might try to steer you towards certain things. You've taken the bait. You've taken the bait. Let me just find it here. So this question comes in from Emlyn. And he's put here, please could you ask them if they have any fond memories from the Stella Sessions and whether the Stella Sessions will be returning this year. He remembers enjoying a spot of beer can archery.
Yeah. We had a few extra activities that they used to get out, when they got on the Stella Session parties. When we had the not the airbag, but the.
East of the catch net.
It was a big catch net with a load of foam. Oh, the foam pit.
Oh yes, looked like the spider's web at the bottom, didn't it?
Yeah, and they would after a few sessions on the Stella, they used to egg on amazing Emmeline or amazing extraordinary Emmeline, and Ben Cyril and Connor Tyson and that. They all used to, and Eamon, I think, used to get involved in a bit of that and do some crazy things on the foam pit at Stella session nights. But
to be honest, a lot of the Stella sessions I can't remember. I remember riding downhill and ended up going through a couple of posts and rail and ended up on my ass a few times.
Yeah, Buds used to ride a lot more in those days, believe it or not, especially after the Stellas.
We parked the car on top of the hill when it used to get dark with the lights going partially across the hill, just bomb down the hill, just hoping you never rode into a rail or a kick or anything like that on your way down. Like, there was a few times we all got gnarled up. Quite a few concussions used to happen, like, put it that way.
I gotta say, you've just brought back memories of us doing exactly the same sort of thing up at it was Super Bowl back in the day, just lighting it up with the old Ride the Hill. I think I was driving there. They had an L200 there at the time, and just parking that up and session in the evening when there's no other way, was there? You're having a laugh out on the hill. So
Steve and Skip and all them used to join in as well.
As in Skip Sounds?
Yeah. That's sort of the time Skip and Steve and a few of the others started coming over, was when they started Stella Sessions. I think Steve used to help us hire toilets and things for all the events, and he started coming over regularly. And Eamon and Emmeline and all them lot used to all get together and do some crazy things. Yes.
Well, I mean, that's now been replaced, hasn't it? The going back to the foam pit or the foam web has now been replaced with the airbag.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's that's been a Thursday? Was it Thursday nights or Wednesday nights you were doing last Sunday?
Yeah, Wednesday night's airbag night.
Will
we got to do all that this year and get it dug out a bit better and running more efficiently.
We've decided to move it down to the camping area. I think it's going to go down.
So Eamon's idea, Aim. Come on, Aim. Tell him exactly your plan for the airbag, mate.
Dun, dun, dun. There is a third person in the room.
That's awesome, then, mate.
I'll tell you about the airbag, but then I'm going again because I don't want to steal the show. But we're going to put the airbag in a similar sort of place to where the big net foam pit was, and hopefully it'll be good in a few ways. It'll be good because the ground before the lip will be level, which will make the kicker work much better, because the kicker is actually the old MBS demo ramp kicker, and that used to be amazing, and it's never really performed the way it did then on the airbag where it is now. So hopefully we'll sort that out. And then obviously after the airbag will then be flat, so you're not coming off it at like 100 miles an hour, which will make it safer for the kids and stuff and us. And then one of the coolest things about it is we'll be like in the evenings at comps and things, we'll be able to have airbag sessions next to the campsite and have a few beers. And nice vibe.
Yeah, and have the tunes going. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, tunes. Yeah.
Where will we be getting speed from for said kicker?
So those of you who were there last year have probably seen the big bike jump at the bottom, and there's like a big sort of shark fin, they call it, which is like a berm with a jump out the end of it. Mm-hmm. Basically, the plan is to top of that a little wider and have the start there, so the airbag is sort of parallel with that big jump.
Nice. Excellent. Oh man, that's going to be ushering through the next generation of world's best. With the addition of that. Whilst you're here, then,
I'll go.
Eamon, two things quickly. We're on to your generation of rider here.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I haven't asked Nina and Bugs their favourite memory of your sort of era, but what's your favourite memory of Bugs boarding?
I will. Well, it's not really that linked to the centre, but one memory that always pops up for me is, I don't know why we were there or what weekend it was, but it was me, Emlyn, and Ben, and there used to be a guy who lived on the farm called Ash. He probably wasn't that much older than us. How old was he?
He was about the same age.
Yeah.
He seemed a little bit older at the time, but he was always getting me and Ben and Emlyn into a lot of trouble and like doing things with us. And there was one evening that it was just me, Emlyn, and Ben there, like at the centre, and no one else was there. And we went up to see Ash, and Ash got his BB guns out. And I seem to remember someone telling me, or us before, like, don't go in that shed with all the bales in it. And we were having these BB gun fights around the bales, and I was on the top, and then I fell in this crack, and then I was stuck in this. Like,
boy, mate, it's fucking A-bar, isn't it?
I was stuck in there for it seemed like ages, and all of them were trying to get me out, but I got out in the end, and I was fine. I don't know, that always popped up for me. But it was like, yeah, a lot of good times, like just finding ourselves and our youth at Bugs for sure.
Fair enough. So, might as well ask your question on your behalf. So, Bugs, Nina, what's your favourite recollection of Eamon and his crew's sort of tenureship at your park?
Wow. Mostly I'm not like that, but I do remember the old Halloween party with them all dressing up. I got some lovely photos.
I don't think I was going to that.
No, you wouldn't.
Maybe that was a bit late in the season, but we've got some funny photos of them all dressing up because we always do an end of season party.
No.
But obviously, we just love Eamon really because he was there all the time, and we remember him with his Jamaican hat. He always had a Jamaican colour helmet with all the different colours on.
When I didn't get the train down, my mum would come and bring me. Nina would set mum on painting the fence.
Yeah. Painting fences.
Not only have I got to take my
lovely camper. I always wanted their camper. It was a lovely thing. You've still got it.
So it was never used.
A proper classic.
Nice.
Camper it is. I would really love that one day. Maybe Kate will come and take me out for the weekend.
There you go. Kate, Mrs. Shaw, I don't know you. I felt rude saying Kate there. Come down to Bugs. Come see it. Next time you're down visiting Aim and take Nina out in your van.
Yes, please.
Cool. Well, yeah. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add whilst you're here? Anything in the works, Eamon, that for this summer? I mean, obviously you're learning the track, ready to repeat last year's success there at the UK Champ.
I've not ridden a board at Bugs this year at all yet. But all we've done really is made a mess, haven't we, Bugs? We have made a mess.
At the moment. But obviously, Eamon doesn't need practice. Everybody might have thought that he practiced last year just because he had did a lot of track building all on his own up there. Well, with lots of helpers and on his own. But Eamon's the sort of rider you see, not like Matt DeBoss. He doesn't do any practicing. We don't do any practicing.
It's all natural, raw talent.
We just get straight out there and just do it at Bugs.
Do it on the night.
We even had a list of jobs we were going to do this year. Matt turned up, clocked our list up, and just kept doing fucking work. It's like we don't want him to come back for a while.
Oh, amazing.
Changes everything.
Yeah. So whilst you're here, what else can we expect from Bugsboarding this year?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick.
What are we? What can you tell us? Don't have to tell us everything. Like, don't.
This is why I'm keeping some stum.
Like jump building wise.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a quick rundown, but we can't promise anything.
Definitely got a roller.
Yeah, we've actually like only a few hours ago finished making a little roller into what is going to be a better intermediate jump line. So next to the big freestyle line, if you're looking down the hill to the left, there's a line of smaller jumps.
Yeah.
Which used to work pretty well in the past, but over the years haven't worked so well. So we're going to reiterate sort of that and get it working again. And then we're hopefully going to do some work on the track, which we've already started by putting a bigger berm at the bottom in a U shape. So when you're coming off the end of the track, you don't go across the front of the quarter pipe or onto the road. It's like a big U.
Nice.
Like a 180 switchback berm now, isn't it?
Yeah, so they're the two things we've started so far. And then obviously there's the airbag thing we spoke about earlier. And then another thing that's pretty exciting and should be really good for the future is like a more beginner sort of rollers and tiny tables and like stuff where, say, a group come for a lesson and they've learned how to go down the hill. It's like the next step after that. So rather than going on to like stuff.
You're setting up the progression up the hill, aren't you?
It'd be nice to have like lines going across, say start off with a couple of rollers, then it go on from that, and it's like a little roller and then a tiny little table, and then across again a little bit bigger table. So it's like a really sort of build up process, and it should make like riding a bit more interesting for kids, because if occasionally you get a lesson and they go down the grass slope and they get the hang of that, and then they sort of get bored or they see their mates on scooters and stuff and they go off and do that. But if there's a next obvious step that they can progress what they're doing, then they might. Yeah,
that's exactly it. I mean, Will Fox, if no one else, will be super happy.
Yeah,
you might see the return of the Will Fox Roller Challenge. But yeah, those. I mean, we had that little section of they were literally rollers right next to the nursery slope, and like you say, all those little things of progression, they keep the interest and stuff. Because for anybody wanting to go from that beginner to advanced, they're going to want to work on their technique. But working on technique is not necessarily the most exciting thing for an 8-year-old to do, which is why that piste is so important to, work on technique. And it's why having that natural progression is also so important to keep interest throughout however long they're with you, or whether that be an hour session or an entire season or more, 20 years in this case.
I can get down that hill. That's a big kid. Trying to teach him not to go in a straight bloody line. What you want to do? Get down the hill first.
Well, I suppose we have. Excuse me.
Hang on a minute. Whoa. We've just gone through the new additions to the centre, but there's one that's just been sort of forgotten over in the other field.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the stitched e-board track.
We have a new e-board track, yeah. So we opened it up at the end of last season when they did the last e-bit. We added a bit round the woods and
about three. There's a good couple of kilometres long, wasn't it? The track in total, wasn't it?
Oh, that way in your legs after it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we've got Mark Sewell down there and Simon Neck. They've been building their little stitch track down there as well now, so that's a new addition. I'd like to thank Mark for all the work he's done down there, and obviously,
Yeah, I've got to go on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get 3 or 4 of you on there for an evening session. There's going to be a lot of fun to be had on that track. The boys have done well there.
Yeah,
I can vouch for the same. I've had a little go on it, and it is a cracking little track. I've got to admit. I mean, I might have been dazzled by the fact that the board that I was riding was running 160 amps at the time, so it was like an absolute rocket ship, but and totally alien to me. But yeah, it was incredible. The boys have done good there.
Yeah,
they worked hard, don't they? Fair play to them, like.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Not only are you now the 20 years in the business, potentially the longest running in the UK, or even in the world, rather, centre. But you're also, as far as I know, the first with a dedicated off-road electric track. That's not just for mountain boards. If you have an off-road electric scooter, or even the guys on the unicycles were at EBIT.
I think you find their called.
Oh, well, there goes our new viewers. Thanks, Slogs.
Isn't it, Slogs? You're not going to say something nice about the Mono Boys?
I'm just jesting. They go damn so faster and quicker than I do.
Yeah. But yeah, again,
it was nice.
The boundaries.
Aside at EBIT, it was good to see a bit of everybody.
Yeah, like I don't know whether you guys really realise that you're setting these precedents when you do this over the years. You know, like if the electric scenes kicks off and that's enough. You know, it's another string to your bow, isn't it? Essentially, there.
Well, that's it, and I think even though obviously mountain boarding is our main thing and our love, that's what we really care about. I think if we want to keep being able to build new tracks for the mountain boarders and keep it going, then we have got to add in a little bit of other things and have it so that the whole family have got an interest there. Not everybody, not all four of everybody's kids or are interested in mountain boarding. So if we've got a few other things, options going on, then hopefully we can make it a place where a lot of the families feel like they can come and spend a fair bit of their summer with us.
Yeah,
it would be really nice if we can do that. We're hoping to do a bit more glamping and things like that towards the end of the season as well, and maybe put some glamping pods in so that it really is a place for the whole family to come and even bring Granny and have a few days with us. And
we've got a boat as well, haven't we?
Oh yes, we've got a new boat. Jim, our mate up the road, runs a boat.
Well, I bet it's don't live in the pond though, do he?
No, I don't. I think he's very watertight. So we're going to make a children's play area out of the boat this year. We've got a few slides to attach to the top.
Could turn it into a big hot tub, couldn't you?
Yeah, we were going to make it into Slogs' glamping pod, but I don't think it's big enough, really.
I can already predict the photos of me and him stood up the front like Jack and whatever it is in Titanic. we'll recreate a Mountain DVD cover with the Titanic DVD cover.
I just remembered, you might have solar panels electric at the top as well.
Oh yes,
maybe.
We are. We're hopefully that's coming soon. We've got a very good friend that I'm sure you all know, Bjorn, who's put us onto a friend of his, an ex-neighbour, I think, when they lived down in Cornwall, who now lives in a boat in Gloucester, unbelievably. And he's come in to help us set up some solar panels. And Eamon's going to get his TV screen that he's going to show his videos on. And
just going to have bottoms up going.
All Eamon's videos.
I'm going to be able to have a beer fridge.
Oh yes, we're going to have a beer fridge.
A nice beer fridge.
So we're very excited about a bit of solar coming. Thank you, Bjorn, for helping.
He's a good boy, isn't he,
What was that, Slugs?
What'd you say, Slugs?
Oh, I said he's a good boy, Bjorn.
Yes, he's a good, solid lad. He's been around a few years as well. He's one of the early riders that I remember when I first came along. Beeren and a few of them from, Burbeck, Steve Burbeck, and they're all the same sort of era.
Never heard of her.
And who else is part of that lot? Martin.
Shall I go again? I've done my part.
Okay.
Martin.
Oh, see you soon, dude.
What's
I'm
he
sitting
saying?
over there.
Awesome Damon left the room. He hates it when I talk about him. Bless him.
Oh. Yeah, I gotta say, old Birkbeck has been a familiar face of Bugsboarding over the years as well. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's one of the first.
Guilty by association. Scott has gone. Right, see you.
Frightened him off.
Yeah, must have done. He needs an aimman there for technical support. Well, while he's gone, I've got another question.
Still here.
I've got 2 questions to go here, and we've got 2 questions to go, and then Slogs has a 7 set for you today.
7-ish set, because people have been asked. Go on.
Okay. Well, let's whack these 2 out. I've got one. One has come in from Sarah Watson, Mountainboarding's most famous and likable Watson.
My favourite Watson.
One of my favourite people. One of my members at Bugsboarding.
That's it. So she has asked, you can only say one of these 2 options, and the options for you to answer are Tyler or Kira.
Oh, yeah, right. Bad question, sir.
And she the second...
It's an easy question to answer because obviously Tyler is a boy and Kira is a girl. So Tyler is up and coming superstar, club member, doesn't ride for the BFC. I'd just like to remind you all. Gets too carried away. Actually is a Bugsboarding team rider, both of them.
Yeah.
This year we're going to get Kira flying on her mountain board. I've seen her. She's been doing a bit of scootering as well. I've seen on Facebook, practicing over the winter. But yes, no, very unfair question, sir. Can't wait to get you when you come up. But yeah, no, really 2 really good up and coming riders. I'm very excited about what they're going to do this year.
Always got a smile on their faces, the pair of them.
Yeah, and Tyler, he rides electric, he rides normal mountain boards, he rides anything you put him on, really. He's not quite as crazy as his dad, but I think that's a good thing.
She does have a follow-up question here, and it's quite an interesting one, actually. I think I probably know the answer, but you never know. It says, would you rather be running or riding at a mountain board centre?
Running or riding? Riding.
Hey.
Definitely riding.
I don't do any running because I've only got one knee. So
Not running as in...
Oh, I see. Running the centre, yeah. Oh, well, I'd rather be riding, and I'm gonna try and get myself down that border cross this year, even though I've only got one knee.
Whoa,
I'm gonna try and get down that border cross if I can. I might even enter one of the little competitions.
I got to say, fair play to you, Nina. Ramp World, and in first play the other week, or a couple of months back now, dropping in there for the first time on that quarter and stuff. It's a mind game, and you overcame that mind game. It's good. It's awesome.
Yeah, but I crashed and burnt really badly. I hope you're not going to show that on here.
Well, I haven't got any footage, so you're all right.
Showing me out. But no, that was my first time ever at a ramp anything. I've never been on a ramp. So I was really excited to have a go, and everybody was very patient with me. Thanks, boys.
It was awesome.
I did love it. I loved every minute of it. But I obviously, having only one knee, I can't probably do it very often. But I am going to come back on another time and do a bit more dropping in.
That's it.
But
Well,
definitely.
just riding, man. It don't matter whether you're dropping in or setting, records or whatever. Just having a play and enjoying it. That's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I did. I loved every minute of it. And like I say, I think I'm gonna have a go at board across this year. So you might see me out on a board a bit more.
Hey, get them back pads on.
Good.
Right, I've got one last question from me before we go on to slogs.
Okay.
And this comes in from Slogs. Or not. That one.
Hey Nina, hey Bugs. I've heard it's the 20th anniversary of Bugs this year. Hoping, and the question is there going to be a party? Because I love a party.
Oh, yeah.
He loves a party.
I love that. Yeah, no, actually, we were up there the other day discussing it's obviously the big 20 this year. So towards the end of the season, we might even have a little mini event or something with a party weekend, and it's in the planning sort of stage at the moment. But we've been desperately trying to do lots of other jobs to get the centre open, so we haven't quite got round to finishing the plans.
I think we do a party now. I think on the Sunday there'll be no lift truck running or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to wait on the Sunday.
That's it. Well, if I tell you what, Bugs, I don't drink, so if I'm there for the party on the Sunday, I'll drive the bloody wagon for you. If you want.
I'm sure we'll find someone to run the truck on Saturday.
He's right here. He's right here.
Yeah, but you might have had too many to drink as well.
That's what I'm saying. I don't really drink, Nina.
Oh, don't you? Oh, I didn't know that. No, awesome.
I maybe I'll have a sweet sherry at Christmas or a ginger wine or something like that.
Oh, I say.
But yeah, listen, I'm going to stop the questions now because we got slogs. We're cracking on.
Well, Dan, before we go to my questions, there's something that I know Nina and Bugs haven't covered, but I think that they should cover.
Oh.
I think you should give a shout out about your own border season passes.
Oh, we're coming to all that after things. I was going to do a whole wind up of what's coming up, but yes, let's go with it now. Get your season passes out.
Okay, so we do a season pass at Bugsboarding. It's if you've got your own board and your own kit, then it's £200 for the season. You can come any day we're open. So from April to November, anytime, free camping, free riding. Well, it's all included. You get a t-shirt and some stickers. And
I'll bring my money with me next time.
It's an absolute bargain, that is.
Well, yeah, I think you equivalently you'd only have to come for 6. It's the same price as 6 weekends, but we're open every day of the school holidays. So if you want to come down for a whole week in the summer or 2 weeks in the summer, you can come as much as you want. Very easily use up just your. You
could, yeah.
Literally go on a 2-week holiday
at our place, mate.
To do all inclusive.
No, but we've got a shower now.
You have?
In some composting toilets this year down in the campsite, I'll have you know.
Oh, very
So we're
nice.
having some new camping facilities put in.
I
Quite
look forward to
basic.
christening them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so we got a few ideas to improve a few things, but yes, please come and join. It makes a lot of difference to us if all our local board, well, not local, but our regular boarders then, or everybody that came this year, if they want to come this season, it's a bargain for you, and it helps us out a lot if we can get you all to join at the club and get you every time you arrive. Then you don't have to keep signing in and everything. You can just come and use the place as if it's part of your own home sort of thing. We want you to come and feel at home there, really. It would be lovely for as many people to join as possible, and it gives us a boost at the beginning of the season because we get a few pound in, which means that we can quickly get work done, afford to do more jumps and ramps, and put a new surface on the skateboard ramp and things like that. So if we get if everyone joins at the beginning of the season, it gives us much more opportunity to do more for you, really, and make it better for you.
Nice.
Well, you've sold it to me anyway. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Lovely. If you don't own your own kit, then you can also join for £250 a year. It's only an extra £50 if you haven't got your own kit.
And you got to hire it. So you could come, if you was a 12-year-old kid, for example, you could come every day of the school holidays for the entire day, have all your kit and your board for 250 notes.
£250 from April to November, yeah.
I've got to say, that's better than childcare, isn't it?
Can't go wrong, can you?
Cheapest childcare in the country.
They've made it bloody childcare.
We are a bit like a local, school holiday club, really. But yeah, that's what we want, though. We want to encourage loads of young kids. We want them to have somewhere safe where they can have a bit of freedom, do their own thing in a safe environment. They can come to the British Championships and things like that and get involved with the ATBA and become a member there, I'm hoping, and really feel like they're part of a scene. We really want to make mountain boarders feel from now on, especially that they are part of something. We have the British Championship. We're hoping maybe next year or the year after to get the World Championship back to England if we can. And we really want local kids and people from all around to come and get involved and be part of that. So if we give them a nice cheap membership, we're hoping that will encourage lots of new young groms and youngsters. But you don't have to be a grom, you can be a teenager, you can be a 25-year-old who's just starting out if you want. But
we'll keep doing our best to keep pushing it out there.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. That would be brilliant.
Get in with your 7 here.
Right, I got a few. Right, so I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Just answer them quick fire. Don't think about them too much. Right, we'll start with what was the best event ever at Bugsboarding?
Ooh.
And you can have different opinions here.
That's a tricky one. For me, it was last year when Eamon beat Matt DeBoss on the last bend of the border cross. His bottom straight off. It was just amazing. That was the best moment for me. But no, I enjoy everyone, really. All of our events have been amazing, haven't they?
Yeah, World Freestyle for me. That was good.
Yeah.
When you say World Freestyle, was that the World Power Slide Championships or the one that actually went on?
It ended up being, didn't it? But we did have quite a bit of riding before that. We had a couple of guys from Siberia came and said, and they stayed with us here. One lad, he landed on that second jump, didn't he? And he took all the skin off his back. Yeesh. So I was wrapping him up for a few days at home.
I remember we were at the top of the car park. We were moving the toilets down to the bottom. me and AJ and that, and we picked this one portaloo up, and we just heard all this screaming inside the portaloo. This little Chinese girl was still in there. We picked her. So yeah, that's why the worlds are quite memorable for me. Like,
oh, amazing!
She was a lovely little lady as well. She was tiny. She really was freaked out. That was fun.
Right. So, event-wise this year, let's try and knock them out in order. What you got? You've got Mount Fest going on. Is that the first one? End of April?
Yeah. 29th of April. We've got Mount Fest.
Well, opening weekend is 1st of April. Yeah.
Yeah, opening weekend is 1st of April, and then first one is Mount Fest.
The 29th of April, is that right?
Yeah. And then we've got 30th of May, which is Dream Teas and Jam.
Nice. BFC boys and Emlyn and the Daydream crew setting that one up. That's a cracking little event. Real good for family and for youth and for.
It's always been a good event. That one has.
It has always been. We've been doing it on and off for years, and it's always a real fun. We used to have a lot of locals that used to come just for the cream teas as well. We need to advertise that a bit more this year and get a lot more locals coming. The EBIT will be
24th.
on the 24th and 25th of June.
Is that right?
Yes, that's EBIT.
I need to put that in the diary then. I didn't even know that. 24th and 25th of June, right? Okay.
Yeah, a bit of exclusive finalised announcement.
I don't know.
That will be upset because I've let it out the bag.
That's it. We might have to cut that one. Potentially, I don't know.
And then 5th and 6th of August is the British Championship.
Nice.
UK Champs.
UK Champs.
Is that not the British Championship? Same thing? Same thing?
Same. 6 of one.
So we've got a busy year ahead.
Yes, we've got a busy year. And hopefully a big party for Bugsboarding as well, but we haven't finalised the date. So we might try and do a bit of a mini comp for that. But again, it's just such a lot to fit in because we're going to try and sneak off over to France for the World Championship as well. So we'll have to see how it all pans out.
So I've got at an event, do you prefer watching freestyle or the border cross racing?
Freestyle.
Border cross.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All bases covered.
One and one likes the other. We don't agree on a lot, really.
Well, that's good though, because I like at the comp. I think the racing for me is what watching the racing when I get kicked out quite early. Then watching it is what I quite enjoy.
Yeah, definitely for me. I love watching racing. I don't get me wrong, when you see the guys doing what they can do over those big jumps at our place, especially over the years, 2010 and when we saw the top riders in the world coming over and just hitting stuff, it does blow you away over the freestyle, definitely. But I love a good race. And, when you can actually say, that Eamon or Emlyn. There you go.
I can't see much of the border cross from in the lift truck.
No, he's getting there, bless him. He's all right.
Good.
But yeah, when you see somebody like amazing Eamon come flying down, awesome Eamon coming flying down and just taking over Matt DeBoss on the last bend like that, it just there's nothing better in life.
Every time you call him that name, all I can think of is what's his name? The Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, really?
Got the name because he paid everyone in a brown paper bag at the end of brown paper envelope at the end of the week. Old school. All his and that, but yeah, the boss.
Right. Next question.
Yes.
Boarders or bikers?
Boarders.
But yeah, no, definitely boarders, I'm afraid. The bikers haven't quite been around long enough to, you know, they do some amazing stuff, don't get me wrong, but they haven't quite been around long enough to get my heart yet.
They've not got the history.
No, I haven't quite got the history yet.
Right. Who do you both consider the best rider you've ever seen riding at Bugs?
Got to be a toss up between Leon Robbins and Tom Kirkman, isn't it? Really?
I thought he was going to say Rene Miles.
And Rene Miles is the ultimate.
Rene Miles
is the daddy of all mountainboarding.
There's something about that yellow
Rene
helmet
Miles.
that gives him magic powers.
Rene is my favourite, really. He is an awesome rider.
And a lovely bloke to boot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right. And he's one of those riders that will just hit it. He'll just go out there and hit it. You tell him to hit something, he'll just go out there and do
when everybody else is complaining, he's riding. That's what I like about Rene.
He really should be a proper Bugsboarding team member, really, Rene. Just like, you know, he's like the early version of Eamon, Emlyn and Ben, really. He's the first one that'll just go out there and hit it.
Nice.
I've got a question here for Bugs now, just Bugs. After watching it this weekend. Digger or dumper?
Digger, mate!
And I want to ask Eamon that question as well.
Digger.
He's got a new big digger coming to play with now. We nearly got it up and running.
Has it got a
You'll have to have
heater in
it.
Has it got a heater in it? No.
Oh. You have to set a fire between your legs.
The exhaust pipe's right by your head, though, so that keeps you warm.
Right.
It lets out a nice breath of air towards you from the other side.
Last question. Where do you see Bugs going in the next few years? Not Bugs, Bugsboarding.
I don't know where he was.
He's not going anywhere.
I mean, he's hopefully going to France this summer.
I didn't know you had it planned to take him away.
So,
well, we just hope to keep building more and more and keep people interested. I think that's the main thing. We had a couple of tough years because of COVID and everything, and we don't want to end up the same as all the other centres. Luckily, you know, it's Bugs' family farm, so we have a little bit of a benefit there, whereas a lot of people have to rent their places. But we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep adding more. We're going to try and get these youngsters more involved. Like I say, get them out and about and maybe pop over to France this year and really open up the members club for everybody and get round the schools a bit more and really get the mountain board name out there this year. I think it's, you know, last year everyone supported us and really gave us a new enthusiasm to really stick some good tracks in and make some differences. Try and listen to you all and find out what you want and what you want to come to Bugsboarding and see and have there. And we'll just keep trying to improve it all the time. Like I say, maybe a bit of glamping as well, so people can come on a few more sort of holidays and you just enjoy your events more. Maybe you'd like to come down and stay in one of our little accommodations.
Oh, always.
But yeah, things like that. So we just really want to, you know, we need to make it just a bit more busy so that we can keep it going for everybody, really. And like I say, hopefully then they'll let us have the World Championships back in the next few years. We're on to Matt DeBoss at the moment, begging him a little and giving a few nudges in the right direction. I better start being nice to you, Matt. Sorry.
Please can we have the chance?
So, what, as from a mountain boarder's side of things, like you guys out there, you need to support Bugs Mountain Board Centre.
Yeah.
As I said,
Buy
earlier,
the merch, buy your season passes, pay your dues whenever you go there. Maybe even say thanks. Thanks for the hard work that you put into. Give the UK a local centre. You are Bugs is everybody's local centre now, even mine, and I'm 200 a mile away.
Wow, yeah, that's it. So we just hopefully you'll all want to come and spend weekends, and maybe like in the holidays, come and spend the whole week with us. It'd be fab to have you. We'd love to have you all anytime, and the kids.
Yeah.
We've even got some little mini boards. AJ made Lucy a very small board, specially handmade when she was first born. I don't know if you all know Lucy, my daughter. She's 13 this year. Actually, she's there.
Oh,
hi, Liz.
Hi.
AJ made her when she was 2. AJ made her a little board. So if any of you have got very young kids that you'd like to give them a little go at Bugsboarding, then we can hire you out the mini board that AJ made especially for little light ones. So
nice.
Come on down and have a go.
Put Lucy back on a minute. Have you finished that brick pathway yet?
No.
Lucy, I thought better of you. I thought that would have been done.
Well, if you have any more questions, Slogs,
I'm good. No, I'm out.
I think I'm pretty much done there. We've had a run through of all the dates. We've plugged the season passes. We've encouraged people to buy the merch and get behind Bugsboarding as much as you can, whether you be on an electric board, a downhill board, a bike. If you're a professional grass sledger, get over there and show us what you got on them. I want to see a 360. If you're in a scootering, get on over there. Whatever you're into, whatever floats your boat, or if you just like being in the countryside, in a beautiful surroundings, go visit Bugsboarding. Bugs, Nina, thank you so much for coming on. Is there? I should do you the honour of saying, is there anything else you guys wanted to add?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody who's helped us over the years, all the crew. Everybody's just come up and helped with the centre, really. So I'd just like to big thank you to people like that.
And I'd like to do a very special thank you to George, ADHD George. We lost him just last year or the year before now. Yeah. And we miss him terribly. He was a huge part of Bugsboarding. Him and his brother Ed and his mum Ziggy used to come every weekend when I first started coming to the board centre, and they were a huge support and part. And we loved George. He was an amazing mountain boarder himself, and we miss him terribly. So we just wanted to mention him. And we named the airbag after George. It's called the Big G. So
nice,
George.
Nice.
Also, we'd like to mention Jimmy and Liz, because when I first started again, they did a lot for us. I'm sure you all know Crazy Jim from around and about. And Liz, we don't see Lizzie so much these days, but she was a really important part as well. And Tramper Ted, thank you for building some decent boards for us for our fleet. They're pretty indestructible, and we wouldn't know what to do without you, Ted. I hope you have a fantastic 50th birthday. I'm sorry we can't make it. but we love you lots. And
Yeah, Ted.
we're very grateful, Tramper Ted. And yes, there's probably about 50 million more people. Joe Diamond, Finn Parry, Mick Kirkman, Phil, Harvey, Lynn, all the kids that work for us. And actually, I'd like to mention them just a little bit, because we've got a really good team of young kids working for us last season. And they've all really pulled it out of the bag and are doing very well. Lewis, obviously, he's British junior champion this year. And he's coming on really well. He's been working for us for a few years now, and we wouldn't know what to do without Lewis. He's a great help. And Tamira and Lily and Noah and Lucy and James and all the gang, really, they're a really important part to our. We wouldn't be here without them. So thank you guys for all your support, and I hope you'll all be on time to work this year, please. Don't be late and don't Skype off. We're going to need you with all these events that we've got coming up. So.
That's it. Well, I got the dates now. There's no excuses there on the dates.
Yeah. And actually, you have got to enter everything this year, by the way.
Well, yeah, I mean, if that's everything, guys, the only thing left to say, like I say, is thank you for your time this evening, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for having us. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't thanked all the people that do loads of painting at Bugsboarding for us.
Makes you can have a reel off now.
Jonesy, Dan Wilson, Simon Neck, Annie, all the guys that come and do a bit of graffiti art for us and a bit of painting and things like that. If you could all come back again quite soon, everything needs to
all of those excellent mountain boarders as well, by the way.
Oh yes, all the excellent mountain boarders.
Parts of the community.
Yes, please come. Bring your spades and your rakes, obviously.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Super, thank you.
Yeah.
You're
awesome. We'll see you on the next episode, and thank you very much, Bugs and Nina.
You'll see our faces a lot over the season, no doubt.
We look forward to it, Slugs. I very much enjoyed getting to know you so well this year.
I'll play some pavers for you, mate.
Cool. I dare say I'll probably see us in a few weeks.
All right.
It'd be nice if I could get up there for opening weekend, but fingers crossed, who knows? At the minute, depends about time on work and stuff. But cool.
It'd be lovely to have you anytime, Dan. And thank you for all you do for Mountainboarding Boys, because you really are making a difference. So well done, and thanks.
Keeping that stoke, same as you guys, just doing it in a different way. I mean, no more important than, or no more worthy of thanks than anybody else that's putting the effort in at the minute. That's the bottom line.
A little bit of everybody working together is what makes it go round. So
that's it.
That's exactly that.
Cool. I'm busting for a piss. I'm off. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, see you later.
Way aye, man. That was dead canny as out, that like. Cheers for tuning out to listen. Now, before you gan yem, don't forget, if you want to keep getting doing with the Dorty Dort fun, like and subscribe. Get amongst it. Shy Ben's getting out.